evening, Belize. Tonight, questions surround the sudden return of a missing alcalde as supporters demand answers. Meanwhile, tensions brew in Indian Creek, where private landowners say the government has failed them. An immigration officer hires legal counsel after being sent home in the wake of last week's western border sickout. Health officials and pharmacists strike a deal on prescription access. And the hurricane hunters arrive, not for a storm, but for education. These stories and more in 60 seconds. News 5 starts now.
Connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progreso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Tourism in the Caribbean is evolving, and the way we grow it matters more than ever.
The Sustainable Tourism Conference 2026 is the Caribbean's premier space for forward-thinking tourism leaders. The conference will be held in San Pedro and Burgess Key from the 27th to the 30th of April. And the conference is hosted by the Belize Tourism Board and the Caribbean Tourism Organization.
If you are part of the tourism industry, whether in hospitality, a tour operator, or managing a destination, this is for you.
This year's theme, Tourism in Full Color, explores how we grow tourism sustainably and inclusively across the blue, green, orange, and purple economies.
You'll gain practical experience, connect with regional and international leaders, and you will drive the future of tourism in Belize and the wider Caribbean.
And getting involved is simple. Registration is quick and easy with multiple payment options to suit your needs.
So, if you've been thinking about attending,
now is the time.
Join us.
See you in Belize at STC 2026.
In Belize, change is taking shape every day. It all starts with Game Changers. Investing in modern transport, better health infrastructure, renewable power for all, digital transformation, and more opportunities for a brighter future, the European Union's Global Gateway Initiative is unlocking new potential. Game Changers are bringing this to life. Game Changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU in Belize to meet the Game Changers.
I didn't know anything about honey or bees. I was really awed when I opened the hive box and I saw there was just not bees. There is wax, there is propolis, there is pollen, there is the entire education of what is going on inside the hive. And I was like, how come nobody in Belize have ever done this before?
The farm produces 75% of what we consume. We were introduced to instant coffee, so we are growing our own food, but we're drinking instant coffee. So I said it's time to introduce our own coffee as part of our food security.
My brother, he used to work at a butterfly farm, and he was in charge of breeding them. One day, when he was in the butterfly cage, he saw that they die naturally and they still look beautiful. And and that is when he got the idea to make the butterfly art collages.
I used to do cakes from home. I started just giving them away, but I needed to buy my stuff back and I started selling them. So that's what started it, and I used Facebook as my means of advertisement and started getting customers.
I've always been fascinated with gemstones. It's been something that I've been collecting for more than a decade. It's just the fascination of how they come out from the earth, just different minerals and elements that combine. They just form these beautiful colors, and it's so fascinating.
Nokshe Adventure Park came about from the birth of COVID. Everything was shut down in the tourism industry, and we decided, I want to do something to help the community. We got 10 bikes, 10 ATVs, and we were just doing ATV tours at that time. Shortly after, we were approached by the cruise lines. We agreed to work with them, and from then it just started growing.
The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. My husband is a woodworker. He attended the meeting, he was given a space here, and that's how basically I got involved in the business.
To me, Atlantic Bank was the best partner for us to team up with.
Having access to financing, change our business in productivity.
Once I had Atlantic Bank support with the finances, it was smooth sailing from there.
They saw the vision and they were willing to be patient. Atlantic Bank's e-commerce system has accelerated the growth for my business.
Now I can make payments and receive payments online, and this has made my job much easier.
I don't have to run to town and use fuel and the other expenses.
They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that meant the world.
I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, April 15th. I am Sabrina Daly. The sudden disappearance and early morning return of Indian Creek's first alcalde, Marcos Canty, has sent shockwaves through the village, igniting violent confrontations and exposing deep fractures over power, leadership, and land. What at first looked like a troubling missing person case is now raising far bigger questions about long-standing disputes, Maya land rights, and who really holds authority on the ground. Residents say tensions had been boiling long before Monday night, and Canty's vanishing may have been the spark that set it all off. Tonight, News 5 goes inside Indian Creek Village to unpack what happened, why emotions erupted so quickly, and why this incident may be about much more than one man. Paul Lopez has the story.
News 5 is in Indian Creek Village investigating the disappearance and return of first alcalde Marcos Canty. This community is deeply divided between those who support the village council and those who support the alcalde system. So what really happened on Monday evening when first alcalde Canty disappeared, and what's the circumstances surrounding his return? And is this just a symptom of a much larger issue having to do with land and Maya land rights? Police say first alcalde Marcos Canty is back home and safe after disappearing from his farm Monday evening. Canty told investigators he was abducted by two men, tied up, and held overnight before being released early this morning on the outskirts of Indian Creek Village. He returned home around 3 a.m. During his disappearance, tensions flared. Supporters stormed two homes demanding answers. One group gathered outside the house of village chairman Domingo Chuck, believing he may have been involved.
My house was surrounded by a group of people who are residents of Indian Creek, whom vandalized, stone with rocks, armed with machete, and with slingshot. and breaking into my residence.
The group also targeted the home of Deputy Alcalde Manuel Ak.
After when they leave here, I see people are bouncing the road, going down, and they take to my road, and they went to my house, and they're calling my name. He said, "Where is the deputy alcalde now?" So the first alcalde has been killed now, so now the second alcalde is going to death now. I said, what? I was to go and defend my family, but my neighbor had said, don't move, otherwise they will crowd you. So I didn't move. I leave my wife alone with 7 kids are at home. They are small kids.
Ak says the angry group threw sticks and stones at his home, destroyed his wife's cacao beans that were being prepared for sale, and ultimately caused damage to his property. Soon after, police identified Ak and Chuck along with 3 other village men as the main suspects in the first alcalde's disappearance.
Police department did not show me a safety regard. Instead, I was criminally treated and my right was violated. I was taken to the police station for safety regard, but instead of that, I went to a cell.
I never did know that I'm going to get arrested. I was to go make a report, and the guys that they are doing damage for my property, they are left for nothing. They are left free, but I am the one get detained.
The tension in Indian Creek didn't begin Monday night. It's rooted in a long fight over land and control. In 2015, the Caribbean Court of Justice affirmed Maya customary land rights as constitutional, a ruling that raised hopes across villages like Indian Creek. But nearly 10 years later, the law to enforce it still isn't in place. As the government works through that process, frustration has grown. For many residents, this week's unrest reflects years of unresolved conflict finally boiling over.
That is, yes, going very slowly. In recent months, it picked up momentum. In fact, on the 24th of this month, we have a meeting scheduled for the review panel, which is like the penultimate part of the roadmap.
But without that law in place, villages like Indian Creek have been left to navigate a legal gray area, fueling clashes between village councils, alcaldes, and private landowners over who gets to use the land and how.
Each one of us were questioned, and then we had proof. We showed them proof that all of us are innocent. So that's why we were released.
Tonight, Kante is safe and receiving treatment at a medical facility in Belmopan.
Well, I'm happy because I tell my people and the villagers, and who I call the pastor, and pastor called me, he said, brother, make me pray. We had a prayer last night, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that because only one God is above to help everybody. I'm happy the man is alive, so we don't have nothing to do with that.
Police say First Alcalde Marcos Kante is safe and now receiving medical care. But in Indian Creek Village, the tension is far from over, and the questions are still hanging in the air. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The Toledo Private and Lease Landowners Limited says relief over the safe return of Indian Creek Alcalde Marcos Kante must now give way to accountability, particularly from the government and activist organizations working in the South. In a statement issued today, the group is calling for a full public explanation of what happened during Kante's disappearance, arguing that fear, misinformation, and intimidation spiraled out of control. The organization strongly condemned what it describes as threats and intimidation directed at the village chairman, his family, the second alcalde, and other community leaders. It also criticized the initial police response, saying officers in Punta Gorda lacked manpower and vehicles, forcing regional commanders to scramble support outside districts. TPLL also took aim at individuals linked to the Toledo Alcalde Association, Maya Leaders Alliance, and Julian Cho Society, accusing them of using media interviews and social platforms to stoke panic and inflame tensions. The group says those actions worsened an already volatile situation and damaged Belize's international image. At the center of the statement is a blunt message to the government of Belize. TPLL says disputes over Maya land rights and private property persist because the state has failed to fully implement the CCJ consent order. The group insists that responsibility lies with the government, not NGOs, and is urging leaders to restore calm, uphold the rule of law, and act decisively before tensions erupt again. Looking closer at the leadership rift within Indian Creek Village, we asked Deputy Alcalde Manuel Ack for his thoughts on why the community is not engaged in more peaceful dialogue in the face of dissenting views. Ack says the real problem lies in leadership. He believes the first alcalde has refused to work with the village council, creating a stalemate that continues to divide the community. While he says everyone is relieved that Marcos Canty is safe, Ack warns that relief won't be enough. Without cooperation and a willingness to meet halfway, he says tensions in Indian Creek will only keep climbing.
I work along with the village council. I am the deputy alcalde. I know my role. I have been swearing. My duty is for arrest people, to law in order, and detain anybody else who do wrongdoing. But I am not departing myself with the village council. I cooperate with the village council what they are doing, and I am happy with that because they are doing development in the village. They have been putting culvert, streets, cleaning burial ground and schoolyard and football field. Those are what is going on. Other things that we are thinking about was to happen in the community.
But why do you think there isn't more peaceful solutions to disagreements?
Well, you mean with the council or?
Just with villagers. If there is one side that agrees on something and the other side doesn't agree, why isn't there more peaceful dialogue, and why do you think there isn't more peaceful solutions? Is it that?
Well, okay, because the first alcalde didn't want to cooperate with the village council, and also myself, he didn't want to cooperate with me, because when we first came in office, when we are swearing, he has told me that whatever village council, he don't agree with development in the community. All is what that he had said, that he will be the overall, he will be the boss.
Former village councillor Santiago Pop is urging authorities to fully investigate an audio recording already submitted as evidence, calling for its authenticity to be verified. Meanwhile, Chairman Chuck is appealing for calm and peace within the community.
Thanks that they have found the man with safe, and to me, the record that he gives through the media or the audio, to me that now the authorities need to see if that is the true evidence that he is giving, or he is only accusing us and this person now. What about if they could have done kill me and this person is safe?
As the chairperson here at the community, I don't encourage anybody to do anything negative. And I encourage my council to be on the positive side and not to do anything, so I can put that on record. And then myself and my family are nowhere to be found on anything, doing any certain thing that will spoil our names. So I stand on that. I encourage my community to come together, unite together, work together. This is what I'm up to as a chairperson in this community, along with my council, and this is what we want. We want to see development in my community, peace. That's what we want.
News 5 will continue to follow the investigation into this matter. Still ahead tonight, leaked documents surface, raising new questions about who really benefited from BEL severance payouts.
Town Called Freedom and Mars Production present an event you can't afford to miss.
It's the Belize Music World Festival, Saturday, April 25th, 2026.
At the spacious Marion Jones Stadium. This annual event is geared to give you the very best in music, food, and artistry.
The Belize Music World Festival.
Headlines with two of Reggae World's very best performers. The one and only Mr. Siggy himself.
Taurus Brown.
With the very first time in Belize, Reggae Prince of Reggae Royal Family,
Skip Marley.
I just wanna be close to you. With his band. And also featuring on this momentous event is Pen Cayetano with his band. And Jay Cass with his band. Yes, Belize, it's a full-on band show. Also backing up this show is DJ Jago, DJ Console, DJ Cad, DJ Smurf, and Clark, and Rossin Charo. Firestarter Sound. It's all hosted by DJ Dollar. So mark the date and don't be late. April 25th. Gates open at 7 for showtime at 8 at the Marion Jones Stadium. Ticket prices on bleachers $41. General admission $61. VIP $151. For Ultra Boost $2,500. Also available. Cocktail tables for VIP area only. Sponsors are A Town Called Freedom, Mars Production, Monisco, Pelican, Travelers Liquor, BTB, Niche, Channel 5, Channel 7, Love FM, and Love TV, Trim Radio and TV, and Cellular World.
The fight for severance at BEL just took a sharper turn. Energy workers say they are now more determined than ever after learning that senior managers at Belize Electricity Limited are walking away with severance packages, while lower tier workers are left empty-handed. The Belize Energy Workers for Justice argue that the rules aren't being applied equally, and they say they now have proof to back it up. News 5 has obtained documents showing what appears to be unequal compliance with severance regulations at BEL. Shane Williams has a story.
We've reached out to Belize Electricity Limited for answers after obtaining documents that show senior executives received lucrative exit packages, including severance, when they left the company. Those documents detail payouts to Vice President of Customer Care and Operations Felix Morin in November 2007, Vice President of Engineering and Energy Supply Joseph Sotnandan in June 2011, and Senior Manager for System Planning and Engineering Rolando Santos in September 2015. We are now waiting for BEL's response on how those payments square with claims that other workers were denied severance. For many workers, this revelation cuts deep. It comes as sick and elderly former employees march under the scorching sun demanding severance they believe they're owed and saying their long-held suspicions were right. They argue company policies haven't been applied evenly, and this latest disclosure only adds insult to injury.
But we know they pay themselves, because remember they are paying themselves, they are serving for themselves. So we know some employees, management get severance.
We know further back that was happening.
It was a stink one time in the company when we were asking in 1999, the workers were saying, pay us our severance. Let us start fresh under the new regime. They said, no, we will start a pension. But lo and behold, there were documents circulating where you see big names for big people at the top. They pay themselves and they give themselves bonuses.
The big people at the top they are referring to are names like Joseph Suknandan, Vice President for Engineering and Energy Supply, who got this massive severance benefit upon retirement in June of 2011, which includes a payment of over $156,000. This exit letter for Vice President of Customer Care and Operations, Felix Morin, shows the board approval of a severance package including 209 vacation days and 33,000 Canadian dollars gratuity. When Senior Manager for System Planning and Engineering Rolando Santos left in September of 2015, his exit package included a severance payment as stipulated under the Labor Act, as well as other benefits under BEL's pension plan. We have reached out to the Belize Electricity Limited for clarity on these exit packages but have not received a response as yet. BEL's position is that their pension and severance arrangements comply with the judgment of the Caribbean Court of Justice, and documents we have received shows legal opinions for BEL from at least 2 respectable law firms. This opinion from Barrow & Company points to a variation agreement signed between BEL and the union, which made it clear that severance payment would be made under the pension plan. However, the company was later advised to clarify and refine the wording moving forward to ensure its intent is stated plainly and beyond doubt. This opinion from Balderramos and Arthurs agreed with Barrow & Company's legal position that BEL's pension plan is different from that of BTL and does satisfy the 2025 judgment of the Caribbean Court of Justice, but advised that going forward, exit letters to employees should clearly show the calculation for employers' contribution to the pension, their severance entitlement, and whatever shortfall or surplus that exists between the two. Even as legal opinions back BEL's claim that it has met its obligations to former employees and insist the company is not in the same position as BTL, the unanswered questions remain. Generous exit packages paid to senior managers with no clear explanation continue to fuel accusations of double standards and reinforce the perception that some employees are treated far more equally than others at the energy company. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Bus operators across Belize are warning of a possible nationwide shutdown as rising fuel costs push the industry to what they call a breaking point. The Belize Bus Association says it has exhausted all options and can no longer absorb the sharp increase in operating expenses. In a letter sent to the Minister of Transport on March 30th, the association outlined several proposals aimed at keeping buses on the road, including tax exemptions on fuel and parts, targeted government subsidies, or an adjustment to bus fares. According to the BBA, the government has since indicated it is unable to implement any of those measures at this time. The association says bus services operate on thin margins and that years of rising costs, now worsened by global fuel price hikes, have made continued operation financially unsustainable. As a result, the BBA warns that without urgent intervention, member operators will be forced to discontinue services starting Monday, April 20th. The BBA is now calling for immediate talks with the Minister of Transport, stressing that a shutdown would impact commuters nationwide and threaten the livelihoods of operators and workers. The association says it remains open to collaboration, but insists swift action is needed to prevent major disruption to public transportation across Belize. A growing rift inside the Immigration Department may be heading straight into the courtroom. The government is pushing ahead with disciplinary action against officers linked to last week's controversial sick-out at the western border, placing some on administrative leave. The Minister of Public Service says the move follows the rules, but one attorney says not so fast. Norman Rodriguez, representing Immigration Officer Anne Marie Smith, argues his client is being unfairly targeted before any proper investigation is complete. Now he's challenging both the allegations and the process itself, setting the stage for a legal showdown with major implications for public officers nationwide.
My client was on doctor's ordered leave from the 30th of March to the 1st of April. When she went back to work, she was served a letter two letters actually. The first letter is that she was placed on administrative leave pursuant to Section 144 of the Public Service Regulations for misconduct. And that the second letter dated the 7th of April is that she's going to be investigated and that they will take action against her for the same thing, for not acting in her capacity professionally as an immigration officer and with the highest level of personal integrity. The facts surrounding this is that Ms. Smith presented a letter to the port commander, I believe she's Ms. Flores, on the 30th of March. And that was a medical certificate from her doctor saying that she was not able to work for that period. The ministry saw that overall there were 8 officers whom had presented medical certificates for a certain period. The allegation is that they all presented medical certificates for the same, more or less the same period, and that they would return more or less on the same date. So the allegation in the first letter is that the ministry believes that they wanted to sabotage the goings at the western border, and that is why they decided that they would place them on administrative leave and they would investigate them and take further action. So they have returned to work for now, but they're under investigation. Now, I can't speak for any of the other officers because I represent only one, but I can tell you that I know Ms. Anne Marie Smith, and she has been facing certain medical conditions for a period of time. So in the least, you would expect that before you say, I suspect, right, that you are guilty of sabotage or that you wanted to sabotage the goings at your workplace, you would make the allegation and do a proper investigation. Now they're going to investigate after they've started taking action against them.
As the investigation continues, one key claim is now being refuted. Suggestions that some officers used sick leave to stage a coordinated sick out are being firmly rejected by one defense attorney. Norman Rodriguez, who represents Immigration Officer Anne Marie Smith, says that narrative simply doesn't hold up. He insists Smith's medical records clearly show her illness was genuine, not a cover for protest action. Rodriguez is also sounding a warning. While internal grievance channels exist, this dispute could end up before a judge, putting the government's actions and the damage to Smith's reputation under serious legal scrutiny.
Now, how do you respond to the argument that she may be using her past illness in support of certain strike actions that was taking place with the other 7 officers?
I will respond to it for you and for the public, because the public needs to know or to get answers to certain questions. But if that question or that suggestion had come from anybody in the ministry, these people are all attorneys. They know the law. So you can't take these things to court. But that is something that they can, I would even say allege, but claim as support to their argument, but they know it would be a flimsy argument before a judge. So to the public and to yourself, right, that is untrue because the records will show that this lady is genuinely ill. I believe the Public Service Union's president did make some comment on it, and they can use their union to give them some support and fight the case for them. But that will only be for, I can't say restitution as yet because they have not been terminated, but to clear up that issue of the administrative leave. But be reminded that even though Belizeans don't take the opportunity to have a judge decide, as it relates to the actions taken against my client, they may be more than just give you back your 5 days pay or whatever, or give you back your 5 days, or damage has been done to her reputation, right? And a court can decide if she's entitled to damages. So that is one option for her.
There's more news after the break, but first, here's tonight's weather forecast from the National Met Service.
Every idea starts with a curious mind. You're the girls who will build the future.
And that's what Girls in Tech is all about, helping you learn, discover, and see what is possible.
Each of you, if you want, you can be the innovators of the future.
The long-term objectives is to amplify their minds and the opportunities.
Life is full of precious moments we're cherishing, moments that shape our present and lay the foundation for our future. But amidst life's beautiful tapestry, there are uncertainties we must confront. How do we secure today while protecting tomorrow? Introducing RF&G Life Insurance, your partner in safeguarding what matters most. With a RF&G Life Insurance plan, you can ensure financial security for your loved ones, providing them with a safety net for the future. From identifying and recommending plans suitable for your unique needs to expert advice every step of the way, RF&G Life Insurance is committed to protecting your family's legacy. Choose RF&G Life Insurance for peace of mind you can rely on. RF&G Life Insurance, securing today, protecting tomorrow. Your life, your legacy.
Alright, you're all set. I'll swap out the water inlet valve and everything is running normally.
Amazing. So what will be the cost?
Oh, for you? There's no cost.
No cost? I'm flattered, but I'm actually married.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's actually part of our 1-year warranty policy.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Don't worry, it happens all the time.
Really?
No.
Belize's only full-service GE USA dealer. Full service, full warranty, full selection. GE Appliances. Good things for life. Available at Design Depot. All in one place.
Easy. Accessible. Safe. Yours. Digi Wallet. Easy, accessible, safe, yours.
This is a Jack X200. This is a very recommendable vehicle. Storage capacity to the max, right? Fuel efficient, easy rider, AC not play, the pump, comfortable, and it carry me to all my destination. I can count on Jack to take me and my packages where I need to go. I recommend it anytime. We're the best from the West.
As concerns grow over tighter prescription requirements, pharmacists want the public to know this isn't about cutting off access. The Pharmacists Association of Belize says it's working closely with the Ministry of Health on a practical way forward, settling on a 12-month phased rollout designed to protect patients, especially those managing chronic illnesses, while strengthening existing prescription laws. The association insists the focus is safety, accountability, and proper medical oversight, not restriction. We spoke with Beverly Coleman, Public Relations Officer of the Pharmacists Association of Belize, who explains what this transition period means for doctors, pharmacists, and patients alike.
The laws have been on the books, like I said, for many years, and I think we come from a culture where we don't appreciate the importance of doing follow-up visits with our physicians, with our doctors, with our healthcare professionals. We're not accustomed to doing routine lab work. So this 12-month transition phase is giving us a chance to climatize ourselves to that. It is not a period of a free-for-all. As stated in the press release, it gives us a chance as pharmacists to tell our patients that I can give you, I can sell you, I can dispense to you a month's worth of medication, but just know that after this, you will need a doctor's prescription, because our patients need to know that we're taking in foreign substances into our bodies. Whatever we take, it could be a Tylenol, it could be a herbal medication. We need to know what effects those are having on our bodies.
As Belize prepares to change how people access prescription drugs, concerns are growing about whether the healthcare system can keep up. More patients are expected to flood clinics for prescriptions, raising questions about whether pharmacists could help fill these gaps, especially in rural and underserved areas. But according to the Pharmacists Association of Belize, it's not that simple, with any expanded role requiring talks with health officials and possible changes to the law.
Medicine is something that is not static. It is dynamic and it changes every single day. So we have to keep updated so that we can keep on educating and counseling our patients.
In order to limit the traffic on an already stressed system, because this will definitely increase traffic towards our health facilities, will we be seeing pharmacists starting to prescribe medications in simpler cases or chronic disease cases?
Pharmacists do not prescribe. Pharmacists, we dispense. We fill prescriptions and we dispense. And if we see a prescription that has an issue on it, maybe it's an overdose, maybe there is an interaction, we are the trained professional who, in turn, we have to alert the doctor who wrote the prescription and identify whatever is the issue on that prescription. We do not prescribe. And that is another conversation that we will be having with Ministry of Health and Wellness, because we have to take into consideration the rural areas where maybe a doctor is not readily available.
A Ladyville man is now behind bars, accused of trying to kill another villager in a brutal weekend attack. 30-year-old Akeem Ferguson appeared in the Belize City Magistrates Court after being charged in connection with the stabbing and shooting of Lionel Nigel Logan. Ferguson was brought under police escort just after 9 and formally arraigned around 10 o'clock on 3 serious charges, including attempted murder. Police say the violent incident unfolded Saturday night on Henry Street in Ladyville near Perez Road. Investigators report that Logan was first stabbed in the lower back and then shot. He was rushed to KHMH, where he remains in critical condition. According to police, Logan identified Ferguson by name at the scene and later in a recorded statement. Officers launched an immediate search, issued a wanted poster, and detained Ferguson later that same night. During questioning, police say Ferguson denied shooting Logan. Ferguson appeared in court unrepresented. Because of the severity of the charges, the senior magistrate denied bail and remanded him to the Belize Central Prison until June 15th. Investigators continue their work, piecing together what led to the violent confrontation and what comes next as Logan continues to fight for his life. The 2 lawmen convicted of covering up the 2021 killing of BDF soldier Jesse Escobar are now trying to cut their prison time. BDF Private Ramon Alberto Alcocer and Police Corporal Juan Carlos Morales appeared before Justice Derek Sylvester this morning, where the High Court set their appeal hearing for April 27th. Both remain locked up at the Belize Central Prison until then. Alcocer is serving 1 year and 2 months, while Morales is serving 1 year and 11 months. Sentences handed down last December after a magistrate found they lied and left out key details in statements following Escobar's shooting in Santa Familia. Surveillance footage later contradicted their accounts. Today, Morales told the court he will be represented by attorney Alifa Elrington, while Oscar Salgado has been appointed to represent Alcocer. The case is being argued by DPP Sherilyn Vidal herself, signaling just how seriously the prosecution views the appeal. The High Court will now decide whether the sentences stand or whether the convicted officers will get a reduction in a case that continues to draw national attention. There will be much more news after the break, so stay tuned.
Is one of the most visited Mayan city up until lately. The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. Not having the POS machine in the past, we have lost a lot of sales. Atlantic Bank helped supported our business, giving us the opportunity to get the POS machine. Now with the POS machine, we are able to do more sales, and that will, also bring more, finance to our families.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
eyes. Big moves are happening across Belize. The Pharmacy Association of Belize, alongside the Ministry of Health and Wellness, is rolling out a new prescription framework set to transform how medications are accessed. On the court, the BioRise Foundation is empowering youth through basketball by building discipline, skills, and brighter futures. Representing the nation with pride, Jarrell Velasquez reflects on his journey representing Belize on the international stage. And in business, Monique's Collective is showing how passion turned her business into a beautiful jewelry brand. Tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Open Your Eyes and start your morning right.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best, darling. Double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan, want it right now. Me want my Smart plan, want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Call me want my Smart plan, want it right now. Smart, stay connected, stay happy.
In a landmark moment for Indigenous rights in Belize back in June 2010, Maya leaders returned to the South to celebrate a historic court victory over land rights. After more than 2 hours of reading a 62-page ruling in a packed courtroom, then Chief Justice Abdoulaye Conte declared that Maya communities in southern Belize hold communal land tenure over their ancestral lands. The ruling covered 33 villages in Toledo and 5 in Stan Creek and barred the government from approving commercial activities on those lands without Maya consent. Chief Justice Conte made it clear this case went far beyond property, noting that the Maya people have long depended on the land for sustenance, culture, and survival. It was a defining day in Indian Creek and across the South almost 16 years ago. News 5's Isani Kayatana reported on the celebrations that followed.
The gentle sound of marimba music and the aroma of freshly cooked caldo permeated the atmosphere as thousands converged on the school ground following the success of the Maya Leaders Alliance in a historic case against the government of Belize over customary land rights. The ruling also impacts logging, drilling, and other commercial activities in southern Belize. The indigenous community of the Maya people in southern Belize have gathered today in Indian Creek village to celebrate their legal victory in the highest court in the land. The Supreme Court today granted the Maya people full communal rights over land they have claimed in southern Toledo. Buses shuttled in villagers from as far away as Otosha and Santa Ana to this central location for an evening of speeches and revelry. Perched atop the concrete one-story building were alcaldes from all 38 Mayan communities from the 2 southern districts of Toledo and Stan Creek. Standing before the audience of men, women, and children was a spiritually reinvigorated leader who has played an integral part in the preservation of the people and their traditional way of life.
Today, we anticipated a favorable judgment, and we were very blessed to have the judgment handed down in our favor. What this means for us is simply that the courts have affirmed our rights to the lands that we customarily use and occupy, which for us means a right to life. The lands that we live on, the lands that we occupy, are the very lands that have sustained us as a people, that have given us our livelihood.
The plight of the Mayas for land tenure has been described as a social struggle. For several years, a legal battle was being waged for government to recognize their rights as an indigenous people. At the helm of that movement was Antoinette Moore. She fought tirelessly to prove that the communities and their residents were deserving of the freedom to own shared land.
Many years ago, actually 10 years ago now, I was approached because of the human rights work that I did in other arenas. I was approached by members of the Maya community and members of a legal team that was working with them to see if I'd be interested in assisting. And I immediately thought not of going against the government, because of course we weren't in court at that time, but thought of assisting and affirmatively aiding in a struggle that is many, many years old and that deserves to come to a positive conclusion.
That ending, some would say, was long overdue. Along the way, the history of Belize's first inhabitants was heavily scrutinized by the attorney representing GOB to prove that there was no longevity between the ancient Maya and those living in rural Toledo today.
I will never forget the experience of sitting and feeling humiliated by Miss Lois Young Barrow. I forgive her ignorance. I certainly hold no grudge for what was said. I mean, we were called a people without a nationality. We were called Guatemalans. We were called migrants. We were called people without a nation. In fact, we were denied our ancestry. We were told that there's no continuity from our ancestors, the Manchechol, or the Kekchi and the Mopan.
During the trial, a professor of anthropology, Dr. Robert Wilkes, took the stand on behalf of MLA. That sworn statement provided a sociocultural look at the people over the centuries. But while the legal struggle for land at times played out like a protracted history lesson, there are those within the wider indigenous community, including Big Falls Village, who are not in support of the move to retain customary rights over land they occupy.
So basically they don't want to get involved in this because maybe it's because they don't understand what the situation is going about, you know. That's why they don't want to involve in this. I don't know what's going on, you know, in this village because I don't want to involve myself in it too because, as I said, I'm a young guy.
And while there was a celebratory air at the rally, it was evident that the government and quite a number of those gathered to observe today's victory were still not fully knowledgeable of the issue at hand. Although the ruling will allow the Mayas of southern Belize to legally establish constitutional indigenous rights over communal lands, Moore says the matter transcends property rights.
There's an apparent misunderstanding on the part of the government of Belize about the essence of the case. And I think that cultural preservation, as you have rightly said, is at core. At core. Here in Indian Creek, where the alcaldes, the leadership has come, along with myself, to present the judgment back to the villagers, back to the people who it will directly affect. Person after person has said that this is a ruling, this is a judgment, this is a struggle about their land and their way of life that goes into generations.
The decision of Chief Justice Abdoulaye Conte was celebrated in grand fashion by Mayan standards as the traditional Cortes dance was performed before a crowd that cheered on the masquerade.
It's good because now we are free in our land. We have everything we can get on the land. Nobody can stop us from doing it.
Monday's judgment succeeds a previous landmark ruling in 2007 when the court first established that the Mayas of Conejo and Santa Cruz villages, also in the south, had communal land rights to the area they were occupying. The government's attorney has already indicated that the ruling by the outgoing Chief Justice will be appealed. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
This land dispute in Balama is just one of many involving undocumented immigrants. But Dora Enamorado's story stands apart. At just 24, she's a mother of 3 Belizean children who has known no other home. Brought to Belize as a baby when her mother fled violence in El Salvador, Dora grew up here, built a family here, and put down roots here. But despite nearly 8 years on the land she developed and lived on, she says it was suddenly taken from her, leaving her feeling invisible and unfairly treated. Dora reached out to us, hoping her story would finally be heard.
I was one of the 40 people that was in that meeting all along, doing everything what he says, letter by letter. Then when they did decide to move everyone to give a land to the other side where Francis Fonseca was giving, they told all of us that there are 18 houses. They will give the land to the 18 houses first. So whatsoever lands remain, they will give it to the rest who had land there. They had proof at 2020 that my house was here and the lot number, and they had my name, everything, because I have already applied. They showed me the same book again. So I did sign up again, and they told me they will call me back again. But they told me I'm not Belizean. But I told them, yes, I'm not Belizean, but I have a Belizean son. Bear in mind, they still take all my applications forms. They still take it, but never call me, never give me receipt about nothing. And then, like, when you call them back for see if nothing they say is still in a survey, open up as yet. So now, my husband, Megan, already with me, gonna apply. Then I call 6 months after, we gonna reapply again. Now the lady come and tell me, we can't apply for that land because it's private. Why now, at 2024, they are telling me it's private? Why never tell me it's private from 2020?
After the break, the hurricane hunters touch down in Belize, not chasing a storm, but sharing knowledge and inspiring the next generation.
Cada conexión es más que solo una señal, es un estudiante abriendo las puertas a su futuro a través de la educación digital. Una mente joven atreviéndose a soñar en grande. Nuestra cultura compartida con el mundo en tiempo real. Y héroes cotidianos respondiendo al llamado del deber cívico. Cuando nos conectamos con Digi, empoderamos a Belice.
Insurance fact. Did you know with Home Protector Insurance, construction projects can receive insurance coverage from start to finish? We offer a variety of bonds. This includes bid bonds, advance payment bond, performance bonds, or others. Let Home Protector be a part of your team and help safeguard you through your next project. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Every idea starts with a curious mind. You're the girls who will build the future.
And that's what Girls in Tech is all about, helping you learn, discover, and see what is possible.
Each of you, if you want, you can be the innovators of the future.
The long-term objectives is to amplify their minds and the opportunities.
Electricity is essential for everyday life, but behind every outlet, a lot is happening to bring you safe, reliable, and sustainable energy. Let's start at the beginning. Independent power producers across Belize generate electricity using a mix of renewable and non-renewable resources. Electricity travels across a network of high-voltage transmission lines capable of transmitting electricity across long distances. Electricity then reaches your nearest substation, where it is adjusted to a lower voltage, making it safe to travel on the distribution lines you see in your community. From there, electricity makes its final journey from the distribution lines to your home, providing you with safe and reliable power when you need it. Belize Electricity Limited. We continue to serve you.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
You usually hear about hurricane hunters when a dangerous storm is already on the way. But this time, they're coming to Belize for a very different reason. No hurricane, no emergency, just a rare opportunity up close. On Thursday, one of the elite aircraft known for flying straight into the heart of hurricanes will touch down in Belize, giving students and community groups a behind-the-scenes look at how critical weather data is gathered before disasters strike. The visit is part of an educational push by the Belize Meteorological Service, opening the door to a world most people only see on TV. Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon explains why this hands-on experience matters and who gets a front row seat to science that helps save lives.
So we do have the visits of the Hurricane Hunters aircraft coming in on, well, they are coming in on Wednesday evening, but the tour will be open on Thursday. It is not open to the public in such a way that to say that anybody can go there. We had advertised it actually on Facebook through our Facebook page. And we asked persons, groups especially, organized groups, not individuals, to book a slot and to get to see the aircraft. We had very good response. So several schools, a few other groups actually had booked slots to see the aircraft. The opening to the public, opening to those groups will be from 10:30 until 3:30. Prior to that, we have an opening ceremony in the morning. We're inviting the media. And of course, we are going to have what we call a VIP tourist, the aircraft, with officials, and media is invited to attend and to ask questions.
Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, missing alcalde returns home, supporters demand answers. Jaslyn Chun commented, "Let the police identify those persons and detain someone, have to talk." Turning now to immigration officer lawyers up after administrative leave. Fel Gomez shared, "Who are they to say those officers were not sick? Government need to stop playing politics with people's lives. They're bread and butter. Those officers have families. These officers been respectable public servants for years." And finally on the topic, no relief, no choice. Bus services may halt on April 20th. Bibit chain shared. But whenever gas prices go down, they don't take down the price of transport. So if they the ball for take up the cost when gas is up, same way they for bring the price down when gas go down. Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.